All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday afternoon with my man Gyiraszin. Hope everybody out there having a great day. Before we get into some baseball, I just want to say a couple words. Obviously, our friend James DGen passed away. It's my first time on the show since. Gyiraszin, Nate's had some amazing words yesterday on the baseball show. Hoop and Tambo on the golf show. Yeah, there's really no easy words to put into it. Man, it's been amazing. I have no notes. I don't do any of that. It's all from the dome. The one amazing thing that's really stood out to me in the past 24, 48 hours is just how one individual can touch so many in so many different ways without meeting 85% plus of them. I was thinking about people I know, like, man, just say it's them. I've been very fortunate in life not to deal with many deaths. I've met James once. So it's not by any means like was he the closest person in my life, business partner, talked here and there, but I've read every single message, had plenty of tears, plenty of waterworks throughout the days, but just reading all the messages and seeing in different ways how he touched different people during tough times. I mean, what else do you want to be remembered for? Obviously very sharp. I mean, dude won $300,000 in best ball, plenty of NFL shippers, PGA. I mean, that aside, obviously as sharp as it gets, did it for a living, to then out of passion, create his own channel. I remember when I was asking him, like, what made you do it? And Tambo, I think, mentioned on the golf yesterday, buddies were like, you bet you can't do this. Like, I bet you can't start a YouTube channel and get 1,000 or whatever the number was, 100, whatever it was. And he did it. He absolutely loved it. When you love something, it's hard to get outworked. And I mean, absolutely no one. I keep saying one of one. A lot of people say one of one. I mean, it's no doubt one of one in the content space. We've been in for a long time, Gyiraszin. I mean, he put on a show when he was doing his stuff. It was more than, it wasn't picks and plays, like the music in the background, the donkey chalk, his little life advice, the chirping of the names of different people. I mean, people tune in, obviously. People want money. They like DFS. People also tune in, though. It's real life, an escape from reality. I've seen multiple people say Wednesday nights, put them on their big screen, their family, stuff like that, the language, just really, really special. So I don't really have too much more to say. You, Nades, Tambo, Hoop, you said almost all of it. One thing that I did, I put the showdown, hoedown with the one of one avatar. It's a little thing that I can do. We're all degenerates at the end of the day. I'm in the streets every single day. Now I can see my logo at least every single day and think of James. This head, he loved the big SHIPIT. I'm going to start wearing this a little more. Little things in life, he will definitely not be forgotten. I mean, what awesome, man. I was gutted for his wife, his family. I can't even imagine. But yeah, we'll miss you. So that's all I got. Gyiraszin, how are we doing today?
I mean, well said. It's just, you think about things and you think how, short life can be, and you meet somebody. I mean, I think we met him from the person together. Like, we were together the first time we met James when we walked in that door of our Airbnb and sat down and wanted to talk about the merger that we had with his company at the time. And, I mean, we watched the Super Bowl together. We were all hanging out, and, at that time he didn't really know that he didn't know he was sick. He may have been feeling bad. I remember he was taking some medicine and stuff, and, just a big presence in the room. We had a lot of fun with him. I mean, he is definitely, and then, as watching his videos, I mean, I've been doing the DFS content since, I started way back in like 2010 times. And I mean, I've seen some of the best of them. I mean, just his antics and the way he did his videos. He'd go get a movie scene and put faces on it and, go out like, I mean, he was like playing, like, just telling a story in a different way that nobody even could even thought of. I mean, it was freaking amazing. So, like I said, man, there's many times I got up and cheered and, was in freaking restaurant, like like when he was after he, knew his diagnosis, and he's just saying, hey, I'm not going to let it bring me down, hold me down. And just to hear and know what he's going through and everything, and just his attitude and demeanor about things was, it takes special people to do that.
Amen.
So,
yeah.
But you know what? He would tell us, you pussies, get your shit together and, quit pouting about it, but the thing is, as you mentioned, you read that tweet from, whoever sent that out on his behalf. Dude, the messages underneath are unbelievable. I mean, it takes you an hour to read them all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you said, that's a hard thing to do, man. Something special. But glad he touched all of us. It was he was something else, man. That is for sure. I just when something like that happens, you reflect on everything you have around you and all the things we have. So I think that's what it's all about. I mean, it's a reminder in life, to live it to the fullest. I mean, that's what I try to do that as much as I can. I've lost a parent, lost grandparents, I've lost, some family members, good friends along the way. I mean, after you graduate high school, I'm 53 years old, man. I've been out of high school for 35 years. I've lost a lot of classmates and people you had fun with. And you start to realize, like, oh shit, man. Like can't take anything for granted. That is for damn sure. But, we got a special community, all our members, everybody. I mean, it's pretty cool to see, even like you said, some of our competitors, that, didn't even have to bother to say anything. I think we're a bigger community, I think, than everybody realizes. And I think one thing I remember saying when DGen walked in the room and we were talking about smashing our competitors and, this and that. And I just remember saying, and everybody kind of looked at me funny. I remember saying, I root for everybody, man, really, because when all of us grow the game more and teach like James did, he taught us all to teach, right? Like, I think that's one thing I'll take from him. Like, if we all teach everybody more, we bring in more people to DFS that have fun and we grow our game. Like, if there's only one or two people teaching our game title, it doesn't grow. So the more people that can content and help grow our game, dude, that's basically what we need. The deeper the water, better all the ships sail, man. I mean, that's a true statement. So James was definitely one that the community will miss. And, I'm looking forward to see what's ahead. What we're going to do with the Masters, our fuck cancer thing that, we're going to be rolling out. I got it. I'll turn my computer a little bit, but I got it back there on my thing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we'll have, like we said yesterday, multiple different things coming out. We're going to have a GoFundMe. Us at SHIPIT are going to contribute. The company, I definitely individually will contribute. Not everyone can contribute. Just being here June 11th for the next major on Wednesday night, we're all going to come together. People are going to share stories, stuff like that. I mean, whatever, just that alone, hitting the like button. Tambo talked a lot about it yesterday, just the algorithm, how much he took pride in that. He was always trying to get to the top. I mean, two other people I want to shout out, the editor and Monday. Two people behind the scenes, talk like the guy in the back. I mean, truly do not get enough credit for a lot of what they do. And James would say that too. I mean, sharp people surround themselves with sharp people. James obviously very, very sharp. He has sharp people by his side. Monday and the editor do a bunch behind the scenes. You guys probably at Chip Nation, through in the DGen community before. I mean, when you work with someone that closely too, you grow a huge, huge bond. So I reach out to editor, but I cannot feel gutted just thinking of you, editor. Monday. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine one of like my closest friends, someone I talk to every day. Like I said, James, this one really hurts. I've cried plenty. I didn't know him. I only met him once. And editor, Monday, his wife, like put myself in shoes like that. All I can do is pray. But when I keep coming back to myself, and I'm going to wrap it up on this and we'll talk some baseball. But every time I do feel a little sad and, oh man, never will be forgotten. No doubt about that. But I always tell myself, there's no doubt he went through pain. I mean, toward the end, he battled the whole way. He went on shows. It didn't seem like that. But there's no doubt, especially those last couple weeks, had to have been super, super hard on him. So I just keep telling myself he's resting easy. There's no more pain. So he's watching from above. And Ricardo, he won $100,000 on Sunday. Ricardo and DGen were very close, and he had like a 0.33% chance to win it going into Sunday. He needed a Ron collapse, all this stuff, and there's no doubt in my mind that he was above.
Yeah, we had a Millie maker,
and we had a Millie maker on Sunday too. So yeah, rest in peace, DGen. Never be forgotten again. My avatar, my logo will be you for a long time. Think of you every day when I tune in to DraftKings, enter contests, and I'm a true degenerate. Gonna wear this hat more. Yeah, try and carry his,
he called the stone the Rosetta Stone, right? And I was like, man, we should just call it the DGen stone.
The DGen. I've been thinking about that too. The DGen. I agree. We're all DGens at the end of the day, but yeah, rest in peace, James. And again, we'll have stuff coming out. Or if you can contribute when it comes out, we'd absolutely love it. His family would love it. If you can't, just being around helps a ton. All proceeds will go to him and his family. All right, Gyiraszin, let's talk some baseball. No easy transition, but we got 7 games on DraftKings, 7 games on FanDuel, 6:45 Eastern start time today. We do have some weather to talk about too. The first game of the slate, so looking at Kevin Ross' weather report, Atlanta, Washington. He has his orange. Looks like it rains most of the game. Light at first, but eventually too heavy to play through. Certainly some postponed risks. So this first game, hopefully we get news, but this one is not safe. This is orange, and then a little safer, but still some orange in it. Yellow-orange for Texas, New York. So if it's orange-yellow, that's worse than yellow-orange. So right now, just looking at it, I'm assuming this Texas-New York game plays. This Washington-Atlanta one definitely up for grabs. But hopefully we get word with it being the first game of lock. Let's talk some pitching, Gyiraszin. Sorting 8K and above. First, let me go to the filter. All this does is include or show players with my projected greater than 8.5, and then I selected pitcher. I don't want to play a pitcher projected for less than 8.5. Sorting by ownership, Crochet, DeGrom. It definitely looks like
how many pitchers you got left? Like 3?
Yeah, not many. Let's see. If I go to pitcher, yeah, these guys right there. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that shows why it's so concentrated up top with Crochet, with DeGrom, the chalky pairing, but it is expensive. And there's Coors Field on the slate. Expensive bats. The Dodgers also in a solid spot. I mean, a lot of offenses with team total above 5, but it's hard for me to get away from Crochet and DeGrom. Almost every lineup I start with one of them. But let's take it 8K or 8.3K Tyler McGill up to Crochet at 10.5. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you look at these guys and you just kind of breaking down their strikeout percentages. I mean, you got a couple guys up there that have some percentages we like, which are obviously going to be at the top of the charts. Crochet against the Mets and his 29% strikeout percentage. Then you got DeGrom, who's starting to look a little better. I'm starting to get a little bit more confident in, Jacob DeGrom being Jacob DeGrom. So, I mean, he's up there at 26, matchup against the Spankies, which not all that enamored about. And then we got McGill against the Red Sox, 29%, which I think is interesting. I don't like that 11% walk rate, which is, so to me there, I think that one is definitely a roll of the dice. It could definitely blow up in your face. That's one of them Robbie Ray kind of situations, I kind of think, Title. I mean, he's definitely got some upside, but them Red Sox could put a thumping on him there as well. So, I think, too, just kind of looking here, you got Smith Solver there. We're kind of a little concerned about that weather. And let's not forget, Washington, bunch of assholes when it comes to PPDs, too. Like, yeah, we've had some problems with them in the past where you're not even sure about a PPD. They wait till the last day a minute, like they want all the parking money, get an hour worth of concessions, and then they want to cut the cord. It's happened numerous times over the last few years. I don't trust them Washington Nats when it comes to any kind of rain issues, delays. It's just they just seem to aggravate me a little bit there. But Corbin Burns, I mean, he doesn't have the strikeouts he used to have. Going against the Dodgers, it's just not something, we obviously are wanting to do either. And Gausman, I hate going against the Padres. Really not any strikeouts in that lineup. Gausman's strikeout rate has dropped. He hasn't really looked good. He's had one decent start his last 3 or 4. I think that's definite concern. So, I mean, just as you mentioned, I think it's truly a standout for the top 2, Crochet and DeGrom. I mean, you could look at Crochet and break it down a little bit too and look at his lineup or, this matchup here. I mean, you look at his strikeout rate. I don't mind it. I think he can get 7 to 10 Ks. I mean, that's definitely somewhere there. But, I mean, this is a tough matchup too for strikeouts. I mean, the guy who's SP1 doesn't have the greatest strikeout matchup either. So, I mean, but we got a short slate, 7 games. But you look at the upside here, it's obvious. Crochet, DeGrom, and then I'll put McGill in there. The other guys up there above 8K, I couldn't stomach it. Maybe Smith, you look at Smith Solver, if you think that game's going to go, man, his splits against lefties are just night and day compared to righties. His strikeout percentage is almost like 30% to lefties. He's like 17, half of that. His walk rate's higher to righties. ISO's 30 points higher. His WOBA's like is 140 points higher to the right side. And I mean, these Nats are going to throw maybe 7 lefties at him here. So even if he's in play, I think I don't like that matchup for him either. So yeah, to me, maybe when we get below 8K, there's maybe a one guy or so I could even stomach down there too. But I mean, for me, it's kind of obvious. Crochet and DeGrom, if you want a little salary saver, you get 1,700 savings off of DeGrom. And if I was to probably not do one and go McGill, I'd probably play Crochet over DeGrom. And I mean, Crochet's Leach has been really good. 103, 106 pitches his last 2 starts. With DeGrom, the Yankees, I just worry a little bit. I think we get maybe 10, 15 more pitches potentially out of DeGrom, maybe out of Crochet than DeGrom. So I think for me, I would have Crochet before I'd have DeGrom.
I definitely can't argue that by any means. I think in a vacuum, I agree. I can see ownership getting a little more separated than this. I mean, looking at it, he's projected for like 2.5 points better as Crochet to DeGrom, which is a lot on this slate. $500 isn't too much. The pitch count is like why I agree with all of that. DeGrom's been pulled pretty early in certain starts. Thing is, it's price or ownership discount. Even though Crochet DeGrom I think will be the chalk pairing, I still think people will get away from it in tournaments. Like when you see Phillies a little under-owned, or like there's expensive bats there. If you want to play Shohei, Mookie, some expensive bats there, you can't play Crochet DeGrom. So one way to get different is spending up for bats a little, which forces you off of one of those two. And again, I can see Crochet being like 52% and DeGrom maybe in the 30, and maybe he'll stay around here. And it'll just eat like Shawver might be, well, that's something to talk about right here. That's this Braves-Washington game, the sketchiest game on the slate. It sounds like if they start, the rain's lighter and it picks up as it goes. So maybe you can get away with it at pitching. To be honest, I'd rather just play Trevor Williams on the other side and save my $2,800. And if the rain delay does happen in the 3rd or 4th inning, at least I got on a different roster construction. I can spend up at bats, maybe still have a chance. Whereas if Shawver gets scratched, or if this game gets a delay in the 3rd inning, Shawver doesn't come back, you're screwed at 9,800. So as of now, it's really hard for me to get there to Shawver. I can't play Corbin Burns against the Dodgers. No, thank you. Gossman, I think, is in playing fine. McGill in playing fine. Our guy Gangrene was talking boots on the ground about weather. It's chilly in Fenway. It's chilly at multiple. Like weather, there's a pretty big discrepancy based on some teams about weather. So it's 60 degrees in Washington, wind blowing in a little bit. Only 50 degrees in Fenway with wind blowing in. Not great weather, as Gangrene was talking about. 52 in Yankee Stadium in New York, wind blowing in. Not warm, not great hitting weather. Fine in Colorado at Coors, 70 degrees. Then it's hot in the West Coast. 85 degrees in Sacramento, wind blowing out a little bit. 80 degrees in Los Angeles, wind blowing out a little bit. So worth noting that like pitching, East Coast, way worse than the West Coast today. Crochet does get that bump. DeGrom does get that bump with solid pitching weather there. Gossman's playing inside. I like playing pitchers there. And obviously Fenway for McGill. So all 4 of these pitchers, solid pitching environments to work with. So I would definitely play those 4. Looking down below, again, JP Sears, it's very warm there. Dustin May I don't want to play Dustin May personally. I don't want to pick on the cards. The D-backs, Taijuan Walker and Coors, absolutely no thank you for me. Trevor Williams would be my guy. And again, it's risky. I want to know what the weather looks like. But if I want to get to some Phillies bats, if I want to get to some Dodgers bats, stuff like that, which I think will be pretty low owned, you're almost forced to make a punt. And Trevor Williams, look at like pitch count. Third highest on the slate at only 6K, which means if he is throwing strikes, he is navigating. If he's going to throw me 90 pitches at 6K on the slate and gets me more bats, I'm definitely good with that. So pretty much only Trevor Williams below 8K for me. Maybe you can talk me into something else, though, because, again, we might even lose him with the weather.
Yeah, I mean, definitely because of his pitch count. I think he's viable. Most of the guys down there are pretty much not going to even go through the lineup once, which is, obviously a concern. I mean, if you wanted another guy that make your butt cheeks clench together a little bit is JP Sears. But, we know that Park's been yielding up some, a lot of homers. He's a fly ball pitcher. The Angels, they got some good righties that definitely get the ball in the air. I mean, you could look at Sears if you wanted to. I think it's just him and Williams that I'd even consider down below. For me, like I said, pitching it's just so narrow of a path today. I think if you want to get a little different, we're going to have to watch that Washington-Atlanta game pretty closely. So getting up to close. And, I always say, I mean, I like to say it, even though if you haven't heard me, if you look at the MLB app, man, it'll say warm up like 10, 15 minutes before the game. It gives you a clear indication they're on the field ready to go. So if you're concerned about your pitcher, that's definitely, if it already is going to say delay, it'll say delay 10 minutes or so generally before. So, if you're trying to fool around on Twitter and figure out, following the beat writers or whatever, trying to figure out what's going on, I mean, that's truly one of the best ways. And I know it saved me many a night's title where I'm stressing out. And as soon as I see that warm up, be displayed on the MLB app, I feel, a million times better, because you usually got 10 or 15 minutes if you need to, make some pivots or adjustments, whatever you got to do there. But I think pitching, is interesting. I think the McGill, I think that we could roll with Crochet and McGill in that same game, and maybe have a nice little pitcher's duel in that cold weather that Green's talking about. So I think for me, I'd kind of lean that way and get me the extra 1,700 in savings. And I think I'd just leave DeGrom out of it. My luck title, the Yankees will jump out 8-0 or some bullshit. And they'll yank him in the fourth inning on, 65 pitches. And then I'll be pissed to sell. But I think that Boston Mets game might be a game we might want to look at both sides of that pit on that mound.
I agree. Do I sound different than I did in the beginning of the show?
No.
I don't. Okay. My mic was not plugged in this whole time, so I think everything was going through AirPods. Now I think it's going through the mic. If anyone in the chat notices the difference, let me know. What a donkey. Didn't even plug in the mic. Hey, yeah. First of all, Michael W. Think I missed that weather? So this is what it is back home right now where I lived. 48 degrees, a hell of a lot of rain, as you can see. This is what I'm working with right now. Right after this, going by the pool, laying outside. I ain't missing jack shit. Michael W. I'm going right out.
He still gets the Packer games out there.
Hell yeah, I get everything I need.
And they're in the morning. And they're in the bright ass early day in the morning. That is kind of cool. You wake up, games on at 10 a.m.
It's amazing. Well, yeah, but I have to get up at 6:15 to do the 6:45 a.m. show on Sunday mornings to get ready for it. So.
Well, we don't feel sorry for you, Mr. 96.
I don't feel sorry for myself either. It sounds like you're in the bathroom. I mean, come on. Does it still sound like that? It should sound fine now, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it sounded like that before. All right, we got nothing left here. Again, so this is the pitching pool we narrowed it down to. JP Series, I'd cap him at like 12%, but yeah, his projection, he's a pivot for his ownership. I don't think it's crazy. Some people are probably going to play a couple. Yeah, the Angels, some of them are going to be played too. High team total, pretty cheap. So you get a little direct leverage off of that as well on a pretty chalky slate. I don't hate JP Sears. But again, we could lose Trevor Williams too, which would then be 5 pitchers in our pool. Yeah, you're playing a lot of the chalk and Crochet DeGrom. Let's see if we can get a little difference at the bats. Let's pull up the Stone, the D-Gen. Also, we do have that promo code still going. I asked about Hoop. We're not going to take it down. I mean, D-Gen 75 every time. you see the name, you remember them. But if you do want to join us at the Nation, and again, don't just do it just because of DGen 75. Like, by no means are we trying to make any money off of anything at all from this. You save the money if you do have it, and you are fortunate enough to give some. The GoFundMe that's going to his family, 100% do that. But if you do want to try us out, definitely no better deal. DGen 75, usually $99, brings you all the way to $24. Get Saber Sim, get all of our content and the Discord, less than $1 a day. Absolutely can't beat that. He always preached, spend way less for content, more in your contests. That is absolutely something we do over here that he was proud of, that we will continue to do for the people. All right, Gyiraszin, let's talk some bats. Again, this first game of the slate might not be on because of the weather, but assuming it plays, Washington Nationals, Atlanta Braves, 8.5 total, -110 on both sides. Braves -155 favorites. What are we doing in this game, assuming we get the green light?
I mean, assuming we get a green light here, I mean, we can start with the Braves here. I mean, you just look at the strikeout percentages for Trevor Williams, down to 15% for lefties so far this year. He's 23% to righties. He doesn't have that much of a walk rate. He gets more ground balls to the right side. His fly ball percentage up a little higher to the left side. So, let's just look over and see what we have. Verdugo, not really, but man, Matt Olson, I see in the chat here, and that's absolutely true, Nicholas. He has been on fuego in the last week here. He's 8 for 20, 3 bombs. He's got a .950 slugging percentage. He's hitting 400 in his last 5 games. Matt Olson is definitely seeing the baseball right now. So Ozuna is seeing the ball pretty well too in the last week or so. So, I think Olson is definitely played just because he's been on fire. I don't mind him at all. I'd like the left side here a little bit more. They're going to see quite a few lefties other than Riley and Ozuna, and then White, the bottom of that lineup. But I think it's interesting. And then two, we know that Washington bullpen absolutely sucks, man. They're one of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. So you got that going for you. As we mentioned, a little bit of weather concern there. But I think it's interesting. I think the ownership may fall off the Braves a little bit more just because of the weather a little bit there. I don't see them. It's not like they're going to be the chalky, team anyway today. But I think you're going to get a bigger discount on them than even before against the shittiest bullpen in baseball. Something to be said for that title. I can't tell you how long Trevor Williams is going to go. So I think it's interesting. I'd kind of maybe call him my, outside sneakier stack here. Cause we obviously got a couple games here at the end of the slate, the Colorado game, the game out in Sacramento that is obviously going to get quite a bit of ownership. But if this one plays, I think the Atlanta bats are interesting. And then on the other side there, Smith Shawver, he's been mowing down lefties, as we said. He's almost 30% strikeout rate. He's down, to 19% so far this season to the righties. And they're going to throw quite a few lefties at him too. So probably 7 lefties, I would assume, maybe even 8. So, that's definitely concerning on that side. I just don't like that lineup enough to go there today. But I think the Atlanta one is an interesting one. I'd have him maybe outside, maybe around my top 5 maybe, but I wouldn't put him in my top 3. But definitely intriguing. Maybe even more for a mini stack.
Yeah, we got 8 lefties, lineups confirmed for Washington. 8 lefties. The only righty in the 8 spot, Alex Call. I do agree. I think if we somehow get a green light for this, or even if it's like 50-50, we only have a 7-game slate, which is a lot less games than it feels like we've had recently. It also feels a lot more concentrated of a 7-game slate than most, with the lack of pitching options, everyone wanting to spend up. And when that's the case, you can play Crochet, DeGrom, and then play 5 Braves. They don't break the bank by any means. They have a solid run total. No one above 4.6K on the team. Easily 5-man, you can 5-man them. Going to get ownership discount with people worried about the weather. Even if people aren't worried about the weather, there's just a handful of teams that project better. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats. I like the Nats park. Like, yeah, the Braves make sense. If this game gets a green light, I would be probably overweight Trevor Williams. That allows me to pay up for different bats and jam Phillies. And then I'd probably be overweight or at least with the field on the Braves and non-Trevor Williams lineups as part of my portfolio. Like I talk about Kikuchi a lot, like 6K when there's almost no other punt pitchers that I feel fine with. If Trevor Williams is rolling, he'll throw 90 pitches. That's good on this slate. 14, I would take all day. Now, if he's getting hit hard, he throws strikes, Braves are putting it in play, it could get bad for him quick. Then you get a bad bullpen. You get 9 innings to work with at pretty low ownership. I think both sides make sense to me. The Nats, I don't want to play their bats. I don't love Smith-Shawver as well because of the price tag and how close he is to DeGrom, Crochet. But again, if we get a green light on this, or Raw thinks maybe 6 innings go or 7 innings go, like that could really, really help Smith-Shawver with all these lefties in the lineup. So I think an interesting game, but easily could get called up. Like Roth, it could get postponed. Roth could say, I do not like the chances that it goes past 4 innings and they resume. And if that's the case, just cross it off 7 games, make it a 6-game slate, but hoping that's not the case. Can I ask which two pitcher y'all would take in large field? Again, Don, this isn't just like us building lineups. If you do want Gyiraszin slate plan, he has his cores, MLB slate plan. You can see the cores there, but it's using the ownership, using SaberSim. Again, we broke down pitching. We narrowed it to 6. Crochet, DeGrom's the chalk pairing. But do you want to eat chalk? Do you want to get different at one spot? I would probably play at least one of Crochet, DeGrom, though. And again, that is the chalk pairing if you want to eat the chalk at pitching. But again, more education video, MLB. Again, we really want to preach. James always talks about it, teaching a man to fish. You don't just give them, you don't catch the fish for them, give them the fish, and then, yeah, you can't do that forever, right? Probably not the best analogy over here, Gyiraszin, but teach them, and then they will teach. What? You can teach a horse, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, something like that. We try and lead them there. Yeah, there you go. That one made a little more sense, but hand build, yeah, that's fine. If you want to go cheap, Trevor Williams. Otherwise, there really isn't cheap pitchers that we like. All right, Gyiraszin, next game. Also, the East Coast games, like I talked about it, way worse weather than the West Coast games. I like the bats a lot more later than I do earlier, so I don't like this Red Sox-Mets game in terms of bats. 2 pitchers people are playing, though, Tyler McGill and Garrett Crochet. We are looking at a 7.5 total, -112 on the under, -148 Red Sox money line. Again, it's like 50 degrees in Fenway, not great hitting environment. Nothing for me on both sides. What about you?
Yeah, nothing for me. I mean, Devers is finally hitting the ball a little bit. But, yeah, I think we could pass on that one. I do like both sides. For me, we were mentioning the pitching. I think I would stick in this game and roll both sides of this game and go with McGill and Crochet and hope that this one here, I mean, we got the lowest total, 7.5. Let's just hope this one ends up being a 3-2, 3-1 ball game, and you get 6-7 innings out of both pitchers with, dozen or half dozen, the 10 Ks. That could definitely happen, especially with the wind blowing in, being cold. And let's not forget, Norm died. Over there, Red Sox fan. Norm from Cheers. All you youngsters probably like, who the fuck's Norm from Cheers? Yeah, you guys don't man. Norm from Cheers. Nobody knows who Norm from Cheers. I've got to drink to that one. I don't know what to tell you. Cheers is probably the best sitcom show, most watched sitcom show of all time, I'm gonna assume. But Norm was the beer drinker. He used to come in. He was the mailman, and he'd walk in the bar title, and the whole bar would yell, "Norm!" And you weren't allowed to sit in the seat. And he had the same damn seat. He sat in that seat every time, and the big man drank beer like it was his job. He was probably the captain of the beer drinking team out there in Boston. But yeah, I was kind of bummed to see our buddy Norm. He was the guy who used to do da Bears, goofing around, shit like that. Yeah. So George Wendt, it was his name. But yeah, so I was actually thinking earlier today, I'm like, Red Sox aren't even gonna probably lose that game either. I mean, they're not gonna lose. I mean, he was a big Red Sox fan. So but hey, good times there. But yeah, I don't really think we need any bets there. But I do think the Red Sox are a pretty decent bet just because of that.
I might have to hammer -148 now just for Norm. Rest in peace.
Norm was Oh yeah, you're right. Cliff was the mailman. What the hell was I thinking? Oh, Cliff was the mailman. Sometimes it's been a while since I watched it.
With a bunch of oldies right here, all going over my head, but rest in peace, Norm. Maybe I have to bet the Red Sox with my man Gyiraszin. All right, next game. And again, it's chilly in the East Coast, East Coast. We keep saying that. 50 degrees in Fenway, 52 degrees at Yankee Stadium. Wind blowing in here as well. Low total, we are looking at 7.5. Juice on the under at -115. Yankees -115 favorites. I'm definitely not playing anyone against DeGrom anytime soon. If the Yankees beat me, they beat me. Yeah, this Rangers team on the road, I don't think Yarbrough is good by any means. Like, I don't know. The weather's awful. This Rangers team, though, this team ain't going to get the job done on the 7-game slate. Are they, Gyiraszin? Can we mini it? Or is it just a full fade?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Yarbrough is probably going to get 60 pitches, 65 pitches, maybe if we're lucky. And then, they're going to get that Yankee bullpen, which, I don't advise generally attacking there. So yeah, definitely a big concern there. So yeah, I don't really like either side of the offense here for these guys here. It's just, it's scary shit, even though, there's something to be said, though, when you got players like Ohtani, Judge, when they're going to be low owned. Sometimes I kind of like to look at guys, that we know at the end of the year are going to have 40 plus, 50 plus bombs. So I don't mind if you wanted to pull like a Judge or somebody like that as a one-off. I don't mind that. You probably get a little bit of leverage against DeGrom if you wanted to go there. But, I don't mind that. I don't mind that play at all, but it is an expensive play, but you definitely are going to get some leverage off of it.
Yeah, you can always play. And the problem for me on this slate, if I'm spending up, like I'm playing the Phillies, I'm playing Ohtani, I'm playing Mookie, I'm playing Corbin Carroll, I'm playing Kettle Marte. Like there's a million other guys I'd rather play that I could spend up that will be pretty low owned anyway. With all that being said, one of, if not the best hitter in baseball, direct leverage off a chalky pitcher. Yankee Stadium, a pop-up to right or left field can get over the fence where it doesn't in other parks. Makes a lot of sense, but yeah, I doubt I see myself getting there too much, especially because most of my teams will spend up at pitching, and I just like other offenses that have spend up bats more. But super, getting Judge at 2%, I guess that's all you really need to say, like Gyiraszin is saying. What's up, Keith? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I was definitely in diapers by the sound of it. Sheets and Gyiraszin.
We used to have to change the channel title with no remote. We didn't have remotes when Cheers was on TV.
But hey, you had TV though, so you're not that old.
We had rabbit ears, and you used to have to go get the tinfoil, and get the fuzzy out a little bit. But yeah, good old days. Good old days.
Good old days. Hey, at least you had TV, so you can't be that old. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next game on the slate. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button, subscribe button helps us out a ton. Toronto Blue Jays, San Diego Padres, 8.5 total, -122 on the over. Blue Jays -170 favorites in this one. So roof will be closed, which I'll take the roof closed in this environment over Yankee Stadium or Fenway right now. Blue Jays not getting much ownership. Vasquez gets hit from the left side of the plate, definitely harder than the right side. Unfortunately, not too many lefty bats in here. We got Varsho, Santander, Nathan Lukes. Outside of that, all righties. You talked about it yesterday. Royals, donkey chalk now. You throw the Blue Jays into that consideration. They're not chalk, so it's not donkey chalk, but you probably still think they're over-owned coming in at, 8-9%? If this team can't hit it out of a paper bag, what do you got? Are you jumping onto that?
Man, they are one of them teams that, just don't have the power that I think can get it done. But let's back up a little bit. Vasquez, for one, is not very good. He's been walking 13% strike walk rate to both sides of the plate. His K percentage to lefties is like 7%. And it's only 16% to righties so far this year. So, he's not getting it. His walk rate is higher than his K rate. Now, on the other hand, behind Vasquez is basically one of the better bullpens in all of baseball as well. So that's a little bit concerning there for me. But I guess on a slate like this, I would put the Blue Jays, if I had, a handful of teams, I might consider playing some Blue Jays just because of Vasquez could, put on a few guys we could. Maybe get a homer once in a while out of the Blue Jays. I mean, I don't like to play a team like the Blue Jays or Royals that just don't have the power up and down the lineup in a bigger slate. Like, when we got 9, 10, 12 games title, I think that makes it a little tougher. There's, 6, 8 more teams that are involved in the slate. When you got 7 games, we may even lose one, obviously, as we know, to the weather, and it looks like we got some better offensive. Pitching isn't great. So to me, I wouldn't totally X them out here today. I guess I would just I would put them in my thought, in my, maybe I'll think about it bucket here. Cause I don't want to, I don't want to X them out just because of the way Vasquez has been walking. He could get in trouble really quick there, but that bullpen behind him there is really good though.
I also think Vlad's going to be one of the most popular first basemen on the slate. Only 4.7K. Like, I don't love that. When one player is definitely getting ownership, my favorite is probably just Santander as a one-off, 3,800, 2,800 on FanDuel. Plug him in the outfield spot, a 5-2-1. He has pop, the platoon advantage. Like, I don't want to eat a chalkier Vlad right now when I don't love the team. And based on what you said, it's either a one-off in Santander or it sounds like just a full stack. If he has control issues and he starts walking guys early, I mean, just a single, a double, 2 singles in an inning with runners on base can absolutely flip the inning right there. I don't love attacking the bullpen of the Padres, though, but if he starts walking guys early and they get up 4-0 the Blue Jays, you don't get the Padres' best arms. Sounds like probably Santander for me, a full stack with like a DeGrom, Crochet. I'm just eating chalk at pitching, hoping Vasquez is wild or nothing. And I lean nothing. Like, we got some big totals on this slate. The Blue Jays haven't seemed to really be on the winner much, especially when Vlad's going to be pretty popular at first base. But if I did 5-man stack them, I would play Vlad because I wouldn't be worried about – I'm not worried about the Blue Jays being too highly owned anyway. I just don't love Vlad as a one-off, I guess is kind of what I'm trying to say. Oh, Keith, yeah, that doesn't sound good. I mean, what we heard, it's orange from Roth, so orange doesn't seem great, but another boots on the ground update right there. All right, 2 hours till lock, though, so maybe something changes. Maybe Ross sees something. Let's go to Coors Field. Coors Field, Colorado Rockies and the Philadelphia Phillies. 11 total, minus 118 on the over. Minus 205 favorites are the Phillies. I mean, man, this Colorado team just so bad. Like, I saw people complain about Luzardo. You can just play any pitcher against the Rockies. So I guess, can you play Taijuan Walker, even though we X'd him out? Taijuan just might be even worse. I will say, I think the Rockies are interesting for a stack. I'm not playing Taijuan Walker. It just has to do with how bad the Rockies are. But talk about a low-owned team. Like, this is the team I'm picking. Yes, they're awful. Taijuan Walker isn't good. It's actually solid hitting weather relative to the slate. The best park. Phillies have been beating them up. But, yeah, give me some of these Rockies. Mainly the top of the order. It's going to be low enough anyway. Yeah, 1 through 7. I think 1 through 7 is fine with me. Can you join any of these Rockies love? And then Phillies. Like, if you can play them, they're phenomenal plays. Like, they're 7.13 run total at this ownership. It's like, how? Well, we talked about pitching. There's very few cheap options that's appealing. The best ones are 10K, 10.5. We play a salary-based game. But that's why I was talking about Trevor Williams in the pool, because these Phillies could easily put up 11, 12, and you're 22 from DeGrom. Maybe the 12 from Williams is more because, or it means more because it allows you to do more at bats if these guys do put up 12 plus or something like that. So, yeah, I like Coors Field today, even the Rocky side.
Yeah, I mean, you look at fly ball percentage for Walker. I mean, he's 17% to lefties, 25% to righties. His ground ball percentage, 47% to lefty, 31% to righties. So righties a little bit here I kind of favor. So Beck, Tovar, Goodman, Doyle. I think those guys would kind of be where I'd start. I mean, we already know. I mean, really, both bullpens are not very good either. So, I mean, here we got a game in Coors. You already talked about the weather. It was, 70 degrees out there? So we're starting to get into the warmer weather. as we get later here into the slate. But also, I mean, I think I would maybe mini a little bit of some of these Rockies. Obviously they'd be fairly cheap. But for me, though, that Philly side, this Carson Palmquist cat is not very good. I mean, he's going to be – this guy is he kind of a fly ball pitcher. He's got terrible control. His swing and miss rate is really low. To me, I mean, I think the Phillies could just totally go off on this dude here today. I like the Phillies way more today than I did actually yesterday. But, man, I just don't see how this lefty – I mean, and Trey Turner is decent. We talked earlier in the year title on how Schwarber pounds lefties. I mean, Schwarber, I don't ever discount Schwarber against the lefty. Matter of fact, I might be willing to say Schwarber going to hit a homer, but that's kind of too easy today. I don't even like to do that. But definitely think Schwarber's in play here. I think all of these Phillies are going to be in play. We'll have to see what I don't think the lineups come out yet, but I'd like to kind of see what they do at the bottom half. But, yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, even Castellanos has been known over his career to be able to hit from the left side. But Philly, for me, is by far the top stack today.
I agree. I would love to get overweight on Philly. But, again, I like the Rockies too. At ownership, at pricing, I'm fine playing Crochet, DeGrom, 5 Rockies. Maybe we'll even get a mini stack or a one-off on the Philly side as well. Mainly 1 through 7 on the Rocky side, though, which are pretty much all righties, but like Ryan McMahon's the power lefty bat that I do like as well. So, yeah, great spot. Let's keep it rolling. Next game on the slate, Oakland Athletics. I keep saying Oakland Athletics. Just the A's. They're in Sacramento now, I know. Taking on the Los Angeles Angels. 10.5 total, -115 on the over. Now we're talking good weather, Gyiraszin. Again, 50 degrees earlier, 85 degrees in Sacramento. Wind blowing out. 2 pitchers I'm not scared to attack. Think you can easily game stack this game. Pricing on both sides, very fair. Very fair. You see ownership coming on both sides, though, as well, because it's easy to go DeGrom, Crochet, 5 Angels. DeGrom, Crochet, 5 A's. 10.5 total, good hitting weather, doesn't break the bank. It all makes sense, but that's why I talked like Rockies as pivots. The Braves, very similar pricing to both. If the game gets the green light, the pivot off the pivot, etc. So, yeah, I mean, but I definitely like both these teams more than the Blue Jays, which is kind of why they fall down the list and are just game theory. But, yeah, what do you got? A's, Angels, good hitting weather.
I think we're kind of at where we were yesterday. I mean, this game scored 1 more run in that Coors Field game yesterday. Both teams won. That both had 7 runs. I mean, Angels 7-5 over the A's. I kind of mentioned game stacking that yesterday. I mean, this Sacramento Park's been yielding so many runs. And bottom line, the reason I like the game stack, these 2 bullpens are the worst 2 or 3 bullpens in all of baseball. So if we can get through these starters here, the back half of this game could just literally be a softball game. So definitely like that. Both sides, as you mentioned, I think you could stack both sides of this game, 5-man on both sides. So for me, though, I think the Angels are a little bit more interesting to me. They get that 9th inning at bat against Sears, who does have a high fly ball rate, 37% to lefties, righties at 33%. I like a lot of these righties here. Neto, Ward, Soler, Ohape. Lugo gets in there. He'll be a cheap bat as well. So definitely like the Angels here a little bit more today than I did yesterday. But, yeah, I think this one's definitely a game that could keep up with that Coors game. And, the Phillies, though, are in such a good spot. I think that Phillies, that Colorado pitcher is just worse than the 2 pitchers we have to start out this game. But the bullpens are worse in this game than actually the other game. But so to me, we could see a blow up at the back half, 6 innings past in this game here. It could start out a little slow and then end up having some fireworks. But yeah, I think both sides of this game is definitely interesting. I think it's a good pivot off that Philly stack if you want. But as you mentioned, it's all about the way the roster construction is going to be. If you want DeGrom and you want Crochet, as you mentioned, this is probably a good game to go. And I can almost assure you, most people that have that will probably come to this game. That's why I was thinking the Braves a little bit earlier could definitely be a decent pivot off of that to this. We also get a bad Washington bullpen in there as well, who's actually sandwiched in between the Angels and A's as one of the worst bullpens in baseball. But, for me, I'll take both sides of this game here. I don't mind it. We saw Moncada hit a home run yesterday. So, let's roll with it. I think we can play both sides. And truly, most times when I've been seeing these games, we're not seeing a lopsided, one-sided where a team's blowing it out where it's, 12-2, and we're not seeing them game. We're seeing 12-8 games, 7-9 games out there in Sacramento. Both teams are scoring runs. So, I think this one here is definitely something that we should be interested in.
Yeah, shout out Taylor Ward. Brought him up Monday. Just absolutely keeps crushing. Taylor Ward would definitely be in my Angel stacks, even lefty. Oh, he ain't lefty. Well, I don't know why I always thought Taylor Ward was lefty. He has the platoon advantage. Even if it was lefty, this dude's seen the ball.
Neto's been hitting. Shannon's been hitting. Those guys have the Angels been hitting pretty well.
Yeah, I think Logan Ahope just homered recently too. Let me check. I know Ward, you mentioned the Moncada. Yeah, Logan homered yesterday too. Yeah, this Angels team's been hitting. Guaranteed 9th at bats, good hitting weather, good hitting park, wind blowing out a little bit. A lot checks out. But again, I do think ownership gets steam, as we're showing right here, because of the pricing with the pitching. It all adds up. And that's why I like the Phillies. How often do you see the away team in Coors projected for 7 have less ownership than both of these two teams? And I don't think it's wrong, because salary-based game, you have to play 2 pitchers. It's really gross when you go down low, and it's really appealing when you go up top. All right, last game of the slate. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button, subscribe button, helps us out a ton. And yes, Lord King, he's reminding us the Washington game. Again, I'm going to follow what Roth says. Everyone right now seems to already have crossed it off. So if Roth gives any bit of hope, like 35% chance it plays, and the team comes in 2% own the Braves, I would take that chance. I think they'd be under-owned for the chance. Obviously, if he says there's a 5% chance, I don't think you should really play it. But I'll just be wondering what Ross says. But even if he says green light, yeah, like Adam said, the Nats, Gyiraszin said it earlier, Washington has been notorious for awful postponements back in the day. So easily that could happen as well. I'm assuming right now, I wouldn't play it in cash games. If you're playing multiple teams, you want to use a very small percentage of your portfolio. Fine right now. If we get a different word from Roth later, then you can change as it goes. All right, let's keep it rolling. Last game of the slates. Another warm weather game out west. Los Angeles Dodgers, Arizona Diamondbacks. We're looking at a 9.5 total. Minus 118 on the under. Minus 142 favorites are the Dodgers. I don't know. Dustin May, a ground ball pitcher. I don't love attacking him, but it's worked out sometimes this year. This D-backs team's hitting the ball. I think Corbin Carroll's one of the best bats on the slate, like he is most days. Gary Ellis pop. You get a lot of lefties at the top of the order against Dustin May at low ownership. At this ownership, yeah, I really like the D-backs. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats. Dodger stuff's tough because, ownership's great. Team total's fine. Corbin Burns is good, but he's not the old Corbin Burns, who we always think of, the Cy Young winner. Dodgers have one of the best offenses, if not the best in baseball. If I'm playing them, I want to mainly stick to the top of the order. Conforto's just been so bad. Pages has some pop. Maybe I'm fine 1 through 9, no Conforto, if that's how the lineup looks. The problem is when I want to pivot, it's the Phillies at this ownership. So the Dodgers today are the pivot of the pivot, because when you're pivoting into the Phillies, usually you're pivoting off one of DeGrom or Crochet. And then if you're pivoting off one of DeGrom, Crochet, and you don't go Phillies, the team that lines up most with salary is the Dodgers. So again, if that's how you want to approach it, if you think Dodgers can outscore the Phillies and you like some cheap pitching, I think the Dodgers make a lot of sense. I love the Phillies. It's hard for me to put Dodgers anywhere near the Phillies in a vacuum. So I don't know how much I'll get there. So by default, I think D-backs are my preferred side, easier to stack. But at the hitting weather, the lineups of both teams at their ownership on a 7-game slate, just that alone, I mean, I feel like you got to have some interest. Tough spot. I want to hear your thoughts. Oh, did this just get postponed?
Nice.
Yeah, it did. It did. Braves Nats postponed down to 6 games.
Good. That takes that little bit of worry out. But, you mentioned this one, Corbin Burns. He's literally gave up 5 earned runs his last 30 innings, last 5 starts. I mean, he's been pitching pretty well. He just doesn't have the strikeout upside he used to have when he was a Brewer. But, I mean, Burns keeps the ball on the ground a lot. He has been walking a lot of guys from the left side of the plate, but his fly ball percentages is really low. I mean, he's only got a 13% fly ball percentage to the left side of the plate. So that's definitely concerning. But, a lot of these Dodgers can get the ball up in the air. Muncy's at 41% fly ball rate. Shohei 34%. So, I mean, that's not too bad. But right, though, behind Burns, the only thing I think could be interesting is that Arizona bullpen is not good either. They're actually the 4th worst bullpen in baseball title. So, if you can get through Burns, maybe you get a couple runs out of Burns. You can't really expect more than that. If you can get maybe the back 4 innings of this game, if you can get through 5 and you can get 4 innings of that bullpen, if I knew that, I'd maybe be a little bit more interested there. But you mentioned a pivot. If you can get a good Dodger team or a good Yankee team on a short slate like this, and you're basically getting them at low ownership, I can't even – I mean, I have no reason to even argue with you. You just got to say that to me, and I'd say, yeah, I'm going to get one of the best damn offenses in baseball. Basically no ownership, only 6 game slate now. So,
yeah,
I don't mind that at all. Definitely have – every day they have slate winning upside. But, I mean, on the other side, as far as Arizona goes, Dustin May, kind of the same guy, a lot of ground balls. He is giving more fly balls up to the right side, which is interesting. Maybe Eugenio has another day today. Marte, I don't mind, some of those guys there. Carroll, as you mentioned, has been smacking the shit out of the baseball. So I don't mind those guys there, but I don't know. I think this game is one. We got 2 decent pitchers. That Dodger bullpen's pretty good. I just think if you can get through Corbin Burns, the Dodgers could end up being a slate winner.
Yeah, losing that Atlanta-Washington game, which again we kind of expected, but I was holding on to some hope. Like now, not liking Trevor Williams, the lowest guy we have in our pool is JP Sears at 7.9K, who I by no means like. And then after that, it's McGill 8.3, Gausman 8.8, DeGrom 10K, Crochet 10.5. And I don't even know how much I love going like Gausman, McGill. I'm fine with it, but I think I want one of Crochet and DeGrom in most lineups. If McGill and what's his nuts? If McGill Gausman gets me Phillies, I'm good with it. I think that they have enough upside. Even if both pitchers get outscored by 5-6, the bats can make up the difference. But I think just seeing that and now not liking any cheap pitchers, it's harder for me to get the Dodgers. When I make that first pivot, it's hard for me to make that second pivot, Dodgers off of Phillies. But I think everyone will be thinking that. So by no means would anyone be surprised if Dodgers are at the top when it's all said and done tonight at at single-digit ownership. Implied for what? 3rd, 4th highest on the slate. Great hitting weather when that's not the case everywhere else. Yeah, it makes sense. But Phillies just seem so under-owned to me that I'm fine jamming like a mid-tier pitcher, even maybe 2. And then 5 manning Phillies. I think they put up a big one today. But yeah, the other pivot is the Rockies for me if I had to pick one. Right in this game, I'm going back to Coors Field. The Coors Field donkey, like I have been for many, many years. Gyiraszin, final thoughts before we get on out of here.
Yeah, I mean, let's get to the top of them tournaments. Like I said, my title, we're going to have to compete. I like to talk about that tweet that goes out. We got to compete with a 100K winner, $1 million winner. We got to get some baseball numbers up there. So good luck to everybody. I did see our boy Scarface shipped a pretty nice one here in recent times as well. So always good to see our logos there in the winner's circle. But appreciate everybody joining us. It's been a rough couple days here at SHIPIT Nation for everybody in the DFS community. But, man, appreciate everybody hanging in there with us and having some fun.
Absolutely. 2 other names I wanted to shout out. Scarface was 100,000 big ones, one of the sharpest MLB guys out there. Hope you're doing well. Big congrats to you. And then Lighty and my man Jordan Newens. Lighty switched the logo yesterday. If you want to see that in the announcement section of Discord, again, that's what I'll be using. Just help me remind myself of James every single day when I am a DJ and logging in to the DraftKings FanDuel app. But Lighty changed the logo yesterday. 3-way chop for NBA Showdown, $53,333. Awesome stuff to you, Lighty. Jordan, the same team in the mini max, $410. Awesome stuff. Very hard team to get to yesterday. You guys are both rewarded greatly for those great teams. So shout out to y'all. Hey, you won $40. Congrats to you, Nicholas. $40. Tank your gas. There you go. All right, everybody. We're going to head on out of here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Again, like button, subscribe button. Helps us out a ton. DGen75 is the code if you want to join us for a monthly package. All of our content, SaberSim Core, and the Discord, usually $99. Gets you all the way down to $24 for your first month using the code DGen75. And we'll have more info about the GoFundMe, certain things that we will be doing in the coming days, in the future, for James, for his family, and to remember him. So be on the lookout for that. For Gyiraszin, I'm Titletown. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Be safe. Hug your loved ones. Have a great night. Peace.